Welcome back to another episode of Brass and Beer. Today we are doing a video on the Mauser Werke Patrone 22 long rifle. It is just a bolt action single shot 22, and the word Patrone meaning cartridge in German. So it's just like I said, a little 22 long rifle, and we'll take it right into the specs with that. So the barrel length is 26 and 3/4 inches. Overall length is 45.5 inches. The height is roughly 7.5 inches. It's got a fixed front sight with a rear sight that is adjustable for windage and elevation. The rear sight also has the elevation markers on it, which is 30, 50, 80, 100, 125, 150, 180, and 200 yards, which is pretty cool. I actually showed that in my shooting video. The trigger on this one is fairly light. I would say roughly 5 pounds. That's just me kind of guessing. It might be a little bit heavier than that, but fairly light trigger. It's pretty crisp, which is nice. So with that being said, we'll get into some markings on the rifle. So on the barrel and the receiver itself, fairly close to each other. You're going to have your receiver, your serial number on, like I said, the barrel and receiver, and of course they should be matching. Hopefully they are. Mine is a 6-digit, if that helps anyone out there. And on the left side of the barrel, it says Patrone 22 long rifle. Again, Patrone meaning cartridge. On the left side of the receiver itself, it says Mauser Werke AG, and then the word Oderndorf, and then AN. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure with a little research you could surely find out. On the right side of the barrel, between every letter there is a period, and it is stamped DRPDRGM. So some interesting markings on this rifle. Again, probably telling basically what it is, like as far as model number and everything goes. I know there's a great book online that you can read about, or purchase and read about these rifles, and basically get all the info that you want to know. The safety on it is fairly interesting. It's a I'm not even sure of the style that it's called, but it flips up and around on the back. So you have one option to lock the trigger, and then the other option to lock the bolt and the trigger as well. So no firing on both those. And then, of course, you do have fire. And I shouldn't really say lock the trigger. It locks the firing pin, so it can't fire. As far as my thoughts go on this, I would say using the correct grain of bullet is a huge thing for this rifle. My guess would probably be something a little bit heavier. I was using, my guess would be a little bit too light of a grain, and when I was shooting at 50 yards, I was doing just fine. I was able to make a fairly tight grouping on there. Again, I guess it was just only at 50 yards, so I mean, not super impressive, but I did take it out in the shooting video to 100 yards. I didn't get very good results from that 100-yard shooting. The grouping was very broad. I only put a few on target out of maybe 10 or 20 shots, and I had noticed that the bullets were actually tumbling by 100 yards. So again, like I said, I think shooting the proper grain bullet out of this rifle will make a huge difference. I've only taken it out once to shoot it, and I only had 3 different kinds of ammunition with me, and the one that I took up to 100 yards was the CCI, the 22 quiet, so it's a lot quieter shot. The first time I heard it with that too, that's another thing to note is how quiet it actually was. I had to take my earplugs off and check the chamber and barrel because I wasn't sure if it fired correctly. It is that quiet, so with the 22 quiet, it's a very small crack. You can barely hear it, and that's one thing that's kind of cool. It's because of the long barrel on this gun. Again, makes it extremely accurate and extremely quiet. As far as the trigger goes, it does have a fairly long pull, and there's a lot of just dead space in there before the trigger actually goes off. Once you actually fill that dead space, and I'll try to show you guys right now here. Once you reach the end of the dead space, you'll kind of feel it stop. So right there, it just stops, and it's obviously you can see pretty heavy because I can stop on the edge there. And then once you give it a little bit more pressure, not much, a little bit more long travel, and then it'll go ahead and fire. I wouldn't say it's super heavy. For a 22, I would say pretty normal, nothing too crazy. But I mean, it's a nice trigger. You know, you can definitely still put stuff on target with it. I would just say it's a little bit long. As far as my actual opinion goes on the rifle, though, I love it. It's extremely accurate. I want to find the proper bullet to shoot out of it so I can, hit it. I mean, if it's got a 200-yard marker on there, then I want to be able to take this thing out to 200 yards. I think that would be awesome. So I'm sure you might see it pop up in a few more videos, seeing how far I can actually stretch this rifle out. Again, my thoughts though, it's a good rifle. It's German World War II era, which is really cool, and makes it a respectable rifle. It's something that would be good just for the gun safe collection, or if you want to take it out shooting, it's an awesome gun for that too. They're basically indestructible. They're made very well. I mean, German built. They build the good stuff. So other than that, I guess the big question is, would I drink to it? And the answer is yes. Today, a little bit of Colorado Kool-Aid. One other thing that I did want to mention about this too was, as far as the stock goes, I'm not sure on what kind of wood it is, because I'm sure some people are curious. So if you know that, or the material of the barrel, as well as how it's finished, leave it in the comments down below. I'm sure other people would like to know. Other than that, give the video a thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe if you want to see more. And thanks for watching.